again, as I already stated, United States and Russia are bound to talk to each other. It's just because if they don't talk, it's over for the world, and that's where the Biden administration was getting us near to, this almost this abyss, and when you have these morons like Sullivan or, Blinken and his wife, who's an imbecile, actually,
Hmm.
so, and, but now, again, Trump, chaotic, unruly, ungovernable administration, repetition basically of the second of the first term. But I don't know. Evidently, now he is being blamed that he took Russian position. Well, somebody told him we have nothing. We
Yeah,
have nothing to play
yeah.
with. We might as well, you cannot beat them. You might as well join them. And so that is why national security strategy today, which I uh, read, it is extremely heavy, focus heavy on Europe, because obviously the United States identifies Europe as the critical, part of the Western world, but they admit even there that some of it is not going to be European very soon at all. I mean, so.
Well, all right, folks, hold on just a second. We've got something important to share with you. First off, a big thank you for all your incredible support. Our team's been putting in the hours, really working hard to bring you insightful guests, new and improved formats, solid, high-quality analysis every week. Our next goal, hitting that 100,000 subscriber mark and getting that silver button. Let's make it happen together. Every like, comment, share, and subscription truly helps us grow and keep improving. All right then, let's get back to the video. Well, as I've dealt with this issue and done a lot of thinking about it, as far as the criticism by the likes of Ben Hodges and David
Oh,
Petraeus, which, by the way, did you get a chance yet to watch
no,
Danny Davis's debate with
yeah, I know.
Hodges?
He just obliterated him, and now they asked me to do the Mario Nafal asked me, his team asked me to do the discussion with Ben Hodges. Uh, Still no answer. I said, yeah, 1st of December is fine. I would love to do it. I'm pretty sure Ben studied a little bit about me, so I do not expect the confirmation
Yeah,
anytime soon.
yeah. Well, that
So,
was like, as I told
but then he just like stomped on him. It's like,
I told Danny, I said, I'm watching the debate, and I called the Florida Department of Elderly Services to report a senior abuse. You were abusing that old man.
oh my God. Granted that actually I believe I'm older than him, actually. I'm older like I'm certainly older than most US generals which are operating, at least used to operate in this Baden group, for and I believe I'm older even than Mark Milley by 1 year or something like that. So, but the point is that, yeah, you look at this, it's just like, good Lord, these people, the guy was in charge of the, European command,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, and didn't know.
Holy moly, my God. And at least Cavoli, well, no matter what they do, there always comes down to, uh, what? Well, great. We're just gonna beat. It's like Larry Wilkerson. He
Yeah,
was talking to Rick Sanchez, and a couple of days ago, and he was like, "My son," he said to two of my sons, both. I said, "I'm not gonna be talking about one of my sons." Secret, something. The other is Lieutenant Colonel in U.S. Air Force, and he says the only thing they hear is that we need to get ready to fight Russia and China, and how great they are. And Larry says that I try to disabuse him from what their flag officers basically BSing them.
yeah,
They are propping those guys to die. They don't even understand, And he said, yeah, not very successful, because obviously you become senior officer and you suddenly think that you know everything. Well, you don't. And those people, and I try to explain it constantly. There is not a single person in the U.S. Air Force, from the academic institution like U.S. Air Force Academy and or the U.S. Air Force War College and all other things, who has any idea what modern air defense is, and that what modern air defense coupled with the state-of-the-art Air Force is. They have no idea. They don't
yeah,
understand what it is to fight it. They have no clue. And of course, when you look attentively at they have been drinking this Kool-Aid from Kiev for the last 3.5 years.
Yeah.
They believe this propaganda. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Well, when you get both Rusi, as I wrote
Oh,
about last night, that made the prediction that uh, Russia was not going to make very many significant advances in
yeah.
2025,
I mean,
and Hodges saying, "Yeah, no, they're not going to take Pokrovsk or Artemisк." It's like, good call, guys. Now,
yeah, they're the professionals. Well, I mean, everything what emanates from UK, I mean, they do not even have proper officer education. 44 weeks in the so-called military academy at Sandhurst, it's not military education. They have the civilian guys and they teach them on the level of the tactical platoon at best and how to operate within the company. And they say, oh yeah, we prepared officers. No, you didn't. And you at least in U.S. Army, and when you read the publications such as the Parameters or Joint Force Quarterly, there are a number of people who understand what is going on. They
mhm,
write about it. Guys, we screwed. That it's and but these guys, oh my God, Chatham House, yeah, MI6, all those, yeah, like, dude, you will be laughed out of the regiment staff meeting in the morning in Russia as the incompetent nincompoops.
yeah,
They won't allow you to command a freaking company. Forget about what being the chief of staff of the division or some. They do not even understand what they are dealing with, and technologically they are not educated. And then suddenly, I did. That's what is coming in my video. Russians love doing comparisons. They pull up the Telegraph from 2022 that Russia is the third great power. It's
yeah,
just losing the war. And 3 days ago, the Telegraph, Putin is in the driving seat. Russia is winning. Nothing we can do. Like, hey, what happened?
yeah,
Why? And you look at these morons, and I'm not talking about this garbage which is infested on YouTube. All those kind of military analysts, none of them have a certain military or intelligence. They don't have any toolkit to. But yet here they are. They come out and say, "Yeah, we just So they draw those arrows on the maps and think that they're so good. They're not. I mean, you'll read this like, yeah. And people ask me all the time in private communications, and even not in private communications, in the comments to my videos, they say, Andrei, can you go to this channel and destroy the guy? I said, guys, that's not my business. But you know what? Once in a while, I have, okay, let's talk about this. Yeah, he's moron. He doesn't understand because
yeah.
of that. And now I have the constant communication with we basically make the also podcast together with Brandon Weikart, who is the editor for national security issues for the national interest, and he was a former staffer. He was a staffer in Congress,
Hmm.
and he was with Pentagon liaison. My God, there's so many interesting things which he provided. It's like, oh yeah, man, it's screwed. It's
What
so screwed. It's unbelievable.
the one thing I finally, I finally came to understand, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, that the reason Russia was not moving with, let's call these big movements, particularly in 2023 and up through 2024, is it simply did not have sufficient ground forces yet to be able to both carry out the offensive and then defend the position and continue to carry on offensives. But, because they started with around 300,000 ground
Mhm.
forces in February 2022. Well, now it's at like 1.5 million,
Yeah.
and with at least 700 to
Yeah,
800,000
on the yeah.
deployed in
That's
Ukraine.
why partial mobilization was declared. But the point is there is a story to be told about Mr. Lukashenko and Belarus about the Gostomel operation, and that is why the guy. Oh God, I don't want to go there. It's like, but the point is, this October, I believe it was the partial mobilization. They needed additional 300,000. They got it pretty fast, and then since then they're volunteers. So that was this overlap. Volunteers were beginning to go in, and they still didn't have the force enough. This was part of what many people didn't understand. The so-called Wagner was asked to, okay, can you patch up this, Bakhmut, operational direction, help there. They were there only help. And
Yeah.
of course, this was misrepresented that they did the bulk of the fighting, while in
Right. Right.
reality, I mean, so they didn't. And the whole thing was like, I think the issue of the personnel, after it became clear that in April 2022, when Bodger sabotaged on behalf of Biden administration the Istanbul talks, that's when it became clear for Russians that it's going to be NATO.
Mm-hmm.
And many people do not understand that prior to those negotiations or April, even that peacetime army, Russian peacetime army, which came in, as you correctly say, it was actually around 250,000. It already wiped out the first iteration of the armed forces of Ukraine. Many people didn't understand. And it was the peacetime Russian army. And that's when the whole thing started. And it was clear that after that, all those ideas which have been floated in Istanbul, they were dead, period. And
Yeah.
then it was just a matter of how Russia will mobilize itself completely their military industrial base, which happened. And now here we are, so, and Russians, last time Russian army I checked, it was 2 days ago, 36 kilometers deep, it's 20 plus miles into Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. In Kharkov, it's, just basically fights in the Sumy is about 25 kilometers, 25 kilometers. And so the rest, Zaporozhye, we know what is happening right now,
Yeah.
Gulai Pole. Everybody like, oh yeah, they're not going to get to Gulai Pole in a month. Oops, next day they are like, we're already inside Gulai Pole. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay. So